Every day, modern professionals face an avalanche of information. Research papers, technical manuals, datasets, and patents pile up faster than any human can read. But holding thousands of pages of data on a hard drive does not mean you understand it. Having the raw information is completely different from possessing an actionable insight. Over the last few decades, our capacity to store data has scaled exponentially, while human cognitive bandwidth, our actual reading and processing speed, has remained exactly the same. The first wave of generative AI promised to fix this bottleneck. Those early systems, however, functioned primarily as writers. They generated more text, more summaries, and more emails, effectively adding to the volume of noise we still had to filter. Teams in R&D, engineering, and intellectual property do not need a faster typing machine. They need a tireless analyst, a system capable of reviewing massive amounts of highly technical data without losing focus. The defining challenge of modern work is no longer finding information. It is synthesizing hundreds of sources at once without losing the crucial context hidden in the details. Enter Claude. Developed by Anthropic, Claude is a conversational AI assistant explicitly engineered to operate as a sophisticated reasoning engine. This diagnostic table outlines the core differences between the two leading systems. Looking at cognitive profile and reasoning style, ChatGPT leans toward fast, fluent generation, making it an excellent writer. Claude, however, prioritizes structured, step-by-step calibration. It is built to be a reader and analyst. For high-stakes research, fluency is not enough. An AI must be able to methodically evaluate evidence and recognize its own limitations before it can be trusted with your intellectual property. To analyze complex material, an AI needs active memory. Claude features a massive 1 million token context window. That means it can hold over 500 pages of text, entire corporate libraries, or massive codebases in its active memory at the exact same time. Yet, processing 500 pages of data is useless if the system hallucinates or confidently lies about complex technical specifications. This wireframe graphic illustrates Anthropic's solution, constitutional AI. Instead of relying solely on human feedback, Claude is cited by a 23,000-word constitution. Looking at the broadly safe and ethical constraints, these rules force the model to admit uncertainty, a critical requirement for scientific validation. This diagram maps out another layer of Claude's architecture, extended thinking. For complex, multi-step problems, the system shifts into a deeper reasoning state. It dynamically allocates computing power to alternate between logical deduction and external tool use before delivering a final, optimized response. The combination of massive memory and principled reasoning transforms Claude into a reliable intellectual teammate for complex technical research. You can see the density of a traditional U.S. patent document here. Intellectual property engineers spend hours dissecting this kind of complex, legal typography to determine innovation boundaries and competitive direction. To stress-test Claude's architecture, R&D teams feed it 10 highly technical patent documents simultaneously in a single session. Claude cross-references all 10 documents at once. It maps out the specific technical overlaps, identifies novelty gaps, and extracts the exact claims that are protected versus what remains free to use. A human bottleneck that typically consumes several hours of rigorous reading is compressed into a highly structured, automated report generated in minutes. This three-layered model illustrates the broader transition into agentic AI.
Claude is now stepping out of the browser window and moving directly into the operating system to execute tasks independently. This workflow diagram demonstrates Claude Cowork in action. Operating as a digital colleague, the system can autonomously read, edit, and reorganize local desktop files, compiling raw data from your spreadsheets directly into compliant executive summaries. Looking at this performance metric, Claude achieves a 72.5% rating on the OS World benchmark. It can visually navigate your screen, moving the cursor to click buttons and fill out web forms at near human levels. In the background, tools like Claude Code run independently for hours, actively hunting down zero-day vulnerabilities in massive production codebases that human reviewers have missed. When a single reasoning agent can navigate complex tasks across an entire software stack, it creates significant pressure on traditional single-purpose enterprise platforms, a shift that has already impacted the stock value of established software giants. The landscape of modern work is shifting rapidly.
The future belongs to those who learn to pair their deep human expertise with intelligent, reasoning-driven tools. Claude serves as a high-leverage thinking partner, designing to scale human analytical capacity and sharpen professional judgment. As these models gain the ability to work independently for over 14 hours at a time, the question is no longer whether AI can help, but how your team will navigate a world where the collaborator never stops reasoning.